Alright, we're going to try some long form video. We're going to talk about real estate, but I'll let you guys have the good view, not just of me, but of the road, as we head to a RE/MAX all company meeting, which is behind closed doors, but we get off the side of the road here, heading on to 470. We'll see how well this works. I might need a better mount. Well, we'll see how bouncy this is too. I'll watch this a little later before I post it. But yeah, story time. So, a lot of people ask me kind of what's the craziest thing that I've seen in real estate. I'd say over the years, one of the things that I saw in the last 18 years was some squatters in a house in Golden. Went in, met a client off the internet, and went to the property, and it was all boarded up and everything is kind of abandoned. Golden's a really hard place to get into, so the cheap price makes you think, okay, what's wrong with it? Well, turns out a couple people were in there in the bathroom showering, probably together. As soon as I heard that, when the house is supposed to be vacant, called the cops, said you probably got, and then called the listing agent, told him to let the owner know, and then called my potential client and said, sorry, I can't show you the house. So that was probably the craziest thing I've ever come across. I did have a client once that was wanting to buy a house that was off the market, and the seller was hiring discount brokers, trying to get it sold for the cheapest amount possible. My clients really liked the house, but they couldn't get it sold. The seller couldn't, so I reached out to him and tried to work up a deal, and we offered a little lower than we thought, since they wouldn't really have to pay an agent. They would just pay me, and everybody wins. And they freaked out about that. The guy went a little crazy, started posting all over social media and Realtor.com and my website and all sorts of things, and saying that I screamed at his wife, made her cry, and I was on his roof kicking off shingles. I don't think I've ever been on a roof for a client, ever. That's the inspector's job. So, and I'm not a roofer, so I don't know exactly what I'm looking for anyway, but yeah, so had to report that guy, and had a lawyer get involved, and couldn't get some of the reviews taken down. I think there's one still on Google. Wrote a pretty lengthy response to it. At the end of the day, I never worked for this guy. I only had a couple interactions with him, and when I could tell he was a little bit, some marbles rolling around upstairs, I told him to get his own agent, and I'd be happy to work with them. So that was a crazy experience. But it all turned out, and at the end of the day, my clients were super happy. They loved the house, and they've been in it for, I think, over 5 years now. So I don't know what happened to that guy, but nor do I want to know. So yeah, we had to get a lawyer to send him a cease and desist letter. Then after that, he kind of went away. But the guy doesn't even live in Colorado, so not too worried about it. But anyway, so yeah, I come across some weird stuff. A lot of people asking me, what's the interest rates? How's the market? My answer to them is basically, well, which market are you thinking about? Like, are you thinking about an investment? Are you thinking about moving your family to a new house, or new construction, or just a bigger house, or a smaller house, or buying a property for your kid going to college? There's a lot of different markets out there. So I have one buyer under contract, about 5% lower than they were asking. We negotiated that, so that's a win for us. We've got a listing coming up this week up in 5 Parks, so you guys will have to keep an eye out for that. Got a couple more listings that I know about. I got a house in Park Hill that I know is still for sale, even if it's not on the market. So love to get them into a bigger house. The situation's got to be perfect for them to move. There's a big house up in Evergreen. Hopefully I'm listing this summer. We'll see. Nothing's ever guaranteed, but I love to work with people that I know and clients and stuff, and friends of my clients and family and all the good things. I just love to help people. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. But yeah, then there's another townhome. As soon as the prices go up a little bit, they'll probably put their townhome on the market. Beautiful townhome facing open space, and 3-bedroom, which doesn't come up for sale very often. So we just need to get that price point up, and then they'll sell. There's another one over in the mountains that I know about. That's in Coal Creek Canyon. I know they want to move to Wyoming, and it even has an apartment that you can rent out separate from the house, which is really cool. And a 2-car garage, like one for the tenant and one for them. Help them. That's a funny story too. Since we're doing story time, I helped them last year. It was an older couple, and they're doing everything they can and then some to try to get their house ready for the market. They're painting things, fixing siding, doing all these really cool things to make the house perfect for the market. But in doing so, it took a little longer than expected, so we ended up not getting on the market until I think it was like mid to late October, and by then it was getting pretty cold. The snow was coming, so we didn't get that one sold. But I know we pulled off the market because the snow got pretty crazy in the canyon. But I know they'd still want to move. But yeah, in the process of getting the house ready, sorry, got some bumps there. You are in a truck, so it is going to be bumpy. But in the process of getting their house ready for the market, they had this 31-foot camper on their property that they bought from a friend. No title work, bought it cash back in the day, about 12 years ago or something like that. And it has sat there for as long as they've owned it. And so we couldn't really sell it because we didn't have the title work. And the roof had caved in. I think there was mice living in it. The slide out for the living room area was stuck out, and plumbing didn't work, and who knows the state of the electrical, and the roof had caved in. It was just, the floor was tore up. It was a pretty big eyesore. So I told them, we definitely want to get rid of that before we put the property on the market. And they just didn't have the bandwidth, and I got some bids, and we're looking at about $2,000. Which they didn't have. So put it on Facebook Marketplace. I had 110 responses in about 3 days, and so I reached out to every single one of them and said, hey, here's my email. If you're seriously interested, here's the condition, here's the situation. You're welcome to come up and get it. Meet me there in a couple of days, and I'll give you that, or I'll give you the address if you reply to the email and say you're still serious about it. And out of those 110 people I responded to, 5 of them said they were interested and had the means to remove it, like tow it off site. And of those 5, I gave them all the address, gave them a time, and only one showed up. It was a guy from Greeley. So we were out there. They had even built like a lean-to, like a little shed entrance area. But we had to take that down. So I was out there chopping wood, sledgehammering structure to try to get everything removed. They were removing pavers, and there were sticks and an old hot tub, all these things. But we got it all cleared away, got it hooked up, turned around, and the guy took off to Greeley with it to hopefully, refurbish it, either make some money off it or provide a really cool property for somebody. So that was my story. I was out there doing whatever it takes. A lot of the people were like, are you sure you're a real estate agent? Because holy cow, like, we've never seen anyone out here with a sledgehammer that was, in a dress shirt and short and pants. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'll do whatever it takes. It's just what I do. So I think my clients appreciate that, and that's why they come back to me asking for my assistance in the future and all that stuff. But But yeah, so now we're in Centennial. We went from, well, I guess Highlands Ranch when I started the video. Traffic's not bad. Typical Denver traffic. Beautiful day. I think we're supposed to maybe get some snow or rain later tonight. If I look back towards the mountains, I see white caps on the mountains, but no real big cloud systems or anything just yet. But shoot, it's almost 60 degrees. Just awesome outside. One of the reasons why I love living in Colorado. You get all 4 seasons in one day, which is pretty cool. I think the birds were chirping. So we've got springtime is just around the corner. As March is right around the corner. But yeah, this is Centennial. This is almost coming up on Car Row, I would call it, because there's so many dealerships, or dealer row, I guess, but that sounds a little more sinister. But yeah, there's like Hyundai, Mazda, Ford, Echo Park. Not to slander any of those, but there's one of them that we bought a car from. Turned out it had been in an accident. We found out later, and they didn't disclose it. So you have to be really careful. Make sure you get a mechanic you trust. But yeah, that was a pain in the butt, but we ended up selling that car. Love that car though. But yeah, the first giveaway was the rim's paint started crackling off because they did a really crappy repair job, and yeah, so that was unfortunate. If you want to know who it was, let me know. I'll let you know. But yeah, beautiful out here. We're coming up on the Centennial Airport, which I've flown out of a couple times. That's a fun architecture story. I was the project manager for American National Bank. They remodeled a branch in Telluride. They had all the tellers and everything, and the vault and everything up above, and then down below, I think it used to be like a pizza place or something like that, or a bar, maybe an Irish bar, I can't remember. But we went down there, and they wanted to put a lot of their officers, like offices, down there, the higher ups in American National Bank that wanted to come to Telluride and work for a day, or if they had a permanent office there or whatever. So all this beautiful custom woodwork. I think it was cherry, if I remember right. But yeah, you have to check it out. I have video of it somewhere on my Instagram, because we went out there last fall to check it out. But anyway, the point of that story was one of the coolest projects I've ever done. But the owner of American National Bank lives here, like Cherry Creek, Denver area. And I got to fly on this private jet with him and his wife and a couple other executives at American National Bank. And we flew out of Centennial. The guy pulled right up to the airplane, and they valeted his car. And one of those planes that you get in with, you have to take your shoes off because the carpet's nice. And so we did that and flew out. And I think we stopped in Rifle, picked up another executive, went to Telluride, and that airport is a little bit scary. Or a lot of it scary. It's on like a little plateau, and if you don't stop the plane, you fall off the mountain, which is really fun when you've had a couple of drinks at the big grand opening, and then you get back on the plane. And funniest thing I ever saw was they were like, "Hold on," and I was like, "What are you talking about? It's an airplane. It can't go like like that." But wife wasn't holding on of the owner. And she tumbled all across down the plane as we took off off the plateau. It was really cool. It's really funny. It's hard not to laugh, but she had a little bit to drink. It was a little tipsy, but it was a lot of fun. That was one of the coolest perks of being an architect way back in the day. I think I figured it out. Come this August, more or less, I will have lived half my life in Colorado. So I consider myself a native now. There's 2 cars behind me that went through that light too, so don't judge me. Kind of stuck. If I would have not gone, that guy would have probably slammed into the back of me in a huge truck, but very, very intentional on going through that red light. So, but that's Colorado. a little crazy. You got to be very vigilant. Make sure you don't get into an accident or somebody hits you. But here we are at the South Metro Denver Realtor Association building. They just renovated this and it became their new headquarters a few years back. I think it was before the pandemic, which surprisingly enough was 4 years ago already. So maybe 6 years ago. But yeah, we'll see if we can get a parking spot so then I can shut the camera off. Maybe you'll see a few realtors walking around. A lot of people park on this street here, but what they don't know is there's a back parking lot that usually has open spaces. So, oh, there's a really cool, old, looks like a Chevy. I think in my former life I was a car salesman, because not that that's shady or anything, but I just love cars. Oh, I could take this teeny tiny spot next to the Mini Cooper, but I don't need to. This guy's gonna back in very slowly. That's the other, oh, we gotta do a 6-point turn. Don't worry, I'm not in a hurry or anything. And then he pulled in too close to the other car. Oh, he's older with the headset on. So, oh my God, I would hate to try to get out of that truck. He's got 6 feet on one side and 8 inches on the other. Oofta. Look, all these parking spots. That one's a little tight. This one's wide open, but seeing as how that guy parked, I'm gonna park up here where I know no one will park next to me, I hope. But yeah, hopefully you guys like the ride along. I'll try to do this maybe every Wednesday and post it to my YouTube channel. So definitely subscribe. And yeah, have a great day, everybody.